fam, this is another week of our weekly reasoning. I'm Princess Paya. This week we're talking about the loss of the great reggae legend Frankie Paul. He died on the 18th of May 2017 and he was only 52. Born in Kingston, Jamaica in 1965, Frankie Paul was born blind. We understand he later regained his sight, 50% of it at a later stage. He first recorded his first hit song at the age of 15 years old, which was African Princess, and he's known for many hits such as Sarah and I Know the Score. There is, however, much speculation surrounding the way in which he died and the fact that he may have died a pauper. Fans are saddened all over the world and want to know what was going on. We understand that in January 2016 he contracted gangrene in his right leg, which caused it to have to be amputated. Frankie Paul released a video in January shortly after his operation, stating that he had this operation and it was in order to allow him to continue his life. But fans around the world were concerned in relation to whether he'd ever get a prosthetic leg.
To save my life, I had to do what I had to do. Yes?
Yes.
I had to do it. If I didn't do it, then a whole bunch of people would be crying. The whole world would be crying. And it would be a sad situation.
On the 21st of December 2016, there was a Frankie Paul benefit concert held in London. This was held in order to raise funds for Frankie Paul to have a prosthetic leg. The likes of David Rodigan and many more showed their support and appeared at the show. Promoter Orlando Gittens, who's a well-known and respected promoter in the UK, held the show. We offered Orlando Gittens an opportunity to comment upon whether or not the money was ever received.
Now, we know that you put on a benefit concert for him in December of last year, 2016.
Yeah.
There's a lot of speculation in relation to whether that money was ever received, and you're being blamed for a lot of things. So we want to talk to you about that today. Tell us about the benefit concert.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, the only thing I'd like to put out there, set this record book straight, it was never, ever about money. The concert was never, ever about money. The concert was to raise money to buy Frankie Paul a replacement leg, a prosthetic limb. Frankie Paul himself asked for that on numerous occasions, and the occasion which obviously motivated my response was he done a radio interview with Tony Williams, and he said that his whole life would be absolutely increased spectacularly if he had a replacement limb. I spoke to a couple of the artists. Let's put Frankie back on his feet again. Okay, I called in about 20 artists. We spoke to the artists, and the whole premise of the concert was to buy Frankie Paul a leg. Now, initially, Frankie Paul was going to fly in, hopefully he was going to fly in, have some physiotherapy, buy the leg in England, and walk out on the stage on the day of the concert with the leg. That was the initial plan. However, unfortunately, Frankie was ill because of diabetes, because of not eating correctly, etc., and therefore he was in hospital in New York the day of the concert. Okay, so when we had about 400 and I think about 433 people attend the concert. Now, as anyone who knows the Indigo knows there's two floors to the Indigo. There's an upstairs and a downstairs. Anyone who's been to my concerts, the overall venue holds 2,700. We had 413 people in there. There was no one upstairs at all. We had to close it off. And what we also had to do, we had to make downstairs seated to make it look like there was people in there. Anyone who's been to my concerts knows it's always standing downstairs and seated upstairs. So we raised 6,000, I think it was about 6,300 something pounds plus 270 pounds private donation. Paul Tarja got in touch with a consultant in New Jersey called Mitchell Hirsch, CPO. He specialises in prosthetic limbs. We checked him out and he was the one. He went to see Frankie Paul in his house on the 18th of January, and it was agreed after that, you know what, Frankie's going to need 1 month's worth of physiotherapy to build up the muscle in his leg, yeah? And at the end of February, he would have the leg. End of February, Mitchell got in touch and said, Frankie, we can do this now, blah. And Frankie said, I want to go to Jamaica for 2 weeks in the sun to get rehabilitated. He went to Jamaica, but unfortunately, that was at the beginning of March, he never came back. Now, in the meantime, we'd bought the leg. Mitchell had done his job. At the time, he told me he told his sister he was going for a week. He told me he was going for 2 weeks. That was at the end of February, but he never came back, and obviously we know the situation, what happened after that. So the money that was raised went on the leg. Unfortunately, the leg was never put on Frankie because Frankie wasn't there to receive the leg. We couldn't send the leg to Jamaica and say to Frankie, put the leg on yourself. Anyone who knows the prosthetic limb procedure knows that you have to have the leg fitted, you have to have it adjusted, you have to have socks made, you have to make sure so that there's no sores or nothing caused by the limb rubbing on the leg. So it's like a 4-week process after you have the leg delivered and fitted. Now, when we talk on the project, Frankie assured us that he was going to be in New York for that whole procedure for the leg, but he decided he wanted to go to Jamaica. There was never ever any promise of any money ever to go to Frankie. It was always about buying a leg. We bought the leg, but Frankie never took delivery of the leg because he wasn't in the country to take delivery of the leg. But that wasn't our fault. We done what we were supposed to have done.
Right, because
That's what I'm saying.
there was initially a video from Frankie Paul stating that he never received any proceeds from you.
That's right. Absolutely.
And
there is, and that was just before, I think that was just before he went through to Jamaica. One of the people that Frankie himself asked involved with the concert was somebody called Blacker Dread. And now Blacker Dread, Frankie asked him to be involved in the concert to act as a liaison whilst he was in Jamaica when we was talking about how we was going to set up the concert in initial places, because he knew Blacker Dread from way back in the day, way before I was even on that scene. They go back to 1982 or something like that. Yeah? Blacker joined the concert when he was giving his tribute to Frankie Paul. He said some things that Frankie Paul never agreed with. He said some things that Frankie Paul actually got upset with. So if you actually look at the video, it's a 3-part video. 2.3 points of 2/3 of it is talking about what Blacker Dread said. Yeah? In terms of how we met him and how we didn't meet him, etc. I can't say yeah or nay because I wasn't there. But the only thing that concerned me is that during the part of the video, Frankie turned around and said, and Blacker and Orlando, to date, I haven't got my leg, and I haven't received 1 penny of the monies from the concert. And he said that in the video. As soon as I saw the video, I phoned up Frankie, and I said, Frankie, what's going on? He said, Orlando, I was upset with Blacker, blah, blah, blah. I said, but Frankie, why are you telling people that you never received no money? You was never going to get no money. It was always about a leg. He said, yes. I said, and Frankie, why did you never get the leg? He goes, because I've always been in hospital, Orlando. So I said, well, Frankie, you've put me in a really funny position. I'm going to need you to put out a video setting the record straight. And Frankie Paul done that the next day. He put out a video when he turned and said, people, it's Orlando, I've got no problem with Orlando, blah, blah, blah. Orlando, I just want my leg.
Now, people are saying that technically, yes, he made that video because he was under the impression that he would get his leg. But they say that there was no real arrangements made for him to have his leg fitted, sorted out. This was all empty promises made to Frankie. How do you respond to that? Is that true, or would you say that's absolutely rubbish?
To be honest with you, the leg as promised was supplied and manufactured. Frankie wasn't there to take delivery of the leg. I didn't put him on the plane to go to Jamaica, and neither did his family. Even up to today, I was talking to his sister, and we still can't understand why Frankie decided to go to Jamaica. I can only assume he thought he was only going there for a couple of days. He couldn't predict, obviously, was that he was going to go to Jamaica, fall ill, and never get back to New York. Now, a leg is in a car. It's not a house. It's not a thing of like, oh, you make this and you can go and sell it back and get your money back. It's a purpose, custom-built leg. In fact, the leg is going to be buried with Frankie anyway. Which is no consolation and blah blah blah, but it is what it is.
We know that £1,000 was sent to Frankie.
In fact, it's more than that actually. Now we've actually sent £1,000 for the funeral, and we sent $1,500 for the clothes and the stuff for him to be buried in.
Why did you feel it was important to do that on top of giving the leg?
But if the honest truth, because we're in a position to do it. That's all. And everyone else who was talking about it worldwide never done it. Bottom line of it is, I was hoping A, for his initial request, which was for a leg, and B, after he died, to make it easier for the family, because I saw a video where the sister was saying she hasn't got no money for funeral expenses, etc., etc. And I got in touch with him. I said, well, you know what? If we can help, fine. If we can't say anything you can do. And that's what we've done.
Why do you think you're being blamed and being treated the way that you're being treated?
Because I think a lot of people don't understand what actually took place. As far as they're concerned, You promised Frankie Paul a leg, but he never got a leg.
2 days before Frankie Paul's passing, a close friend of Frankie Paul's, Wayne Lonesome, and Frankie Paul's sister posted a video.
And you will have the thing link her because it's important. No matter about no foot, just send the rest of balance a thing to her. Better we save him life more than you tell about foot, and you know, do this and that. If me keep a show and me that say me I keep a show for Frankie, me keep it for him, me donate it to Frankie.
2 days after this video being posted, unfortunately Frankie Paul passed away. Speculation has now arisen as to whether or not Frankie Paul ever received the money which was given at the benefit concert in London. We had an opportunity to speak with Wayne Lonesome and we asked him to respond. This is what he had to say.
Tell us about the last moments of which you spent with Frankie Paul.
Over the few months, him just start deteriorating again. You see what I'm saying? He start deteriorating. Him came here, my name's son. Him say, go and lie down. I'm telling Zay, say, like, make him go and lie down. Yeah, you understand? So I'm pushing the wheelchair, came on there. You know, I bed to lie down and you know, we have to call back Sean. He said, nobody want to lie down, call back Choke the same way and rush him to the doctor. When them come, them have him up at university hospital. And instead of them get better, them start deteriorating more. And everything them do is just add up some bill. But what really hurt me, you know, them add up bill and then you hear them get some sepsis in the blood or what them want to call it. To me, you know, say you have superbug in the hospital. Going with that part. You understand? You need the dialysis. We deal with that. Call me first.
Well, it's funny that you talk about that because, you know, Reggae Britannia, we watched and we saw a video of you and his sister a couple days prior to the time of him passing away, asking for money. There was a plead for money. Did he ever receive those funds? Did he ever get that?
The funds when they were talking about, it was them keep a show in London.
In the UK, that's right, yeah.
And the guy was talking about the leg. So me I say, instead of talking about a leg, because we know how leg, artificial leg, if you're doing a leg and you have a stump, we know say you have to be on spot, you have to do therapy, you have to do all kind of things.
But what was the arrangement, Wayne? Because there was a benefit concert for Frankie to receive a leg and some money. So what exactly was the arrangement? Was it for money or a leg?
Yeah, but if all right. Them say them raising the money. I see that thing with them Radigan and them say every cent going to Frankie Paul.
Did he get that, Wayne?
No, I never get that money.
He never got that money?
No. And that's from December.
We've heard from, you know, Orlando, who actually did the benefit concert, was the promoter of that concert. He put out a video the other day saying that Frankie's sister has confirmed that Frankie Paul received the money. So did he ever receive that money?
You know, when I was in you say Orlando moving smartly. I don't even want to call his name. But what happened is when we talked within Sunday day, not a cent. And you know it's just a couple weeks before. Come here and say if the man's sick, he need the money, do that. So you have to put a pressure. Then him write up something and say him promise a leg. He's not doing nothing. Just a leg he want to deal with. And then pay half of the money. And Frankie will fit him leg. And then I said, then if a man's sick, what him doing with a leg? I better deal with him life first. We are dealing with a life here. You understand? So it's not like you beg the public. Because some people say, go from this. So no, they keep a concert in the name of a man. You don't just give everyone deal with him health. I believe give him the money or pay the money to the hospital and make them look about him. More than you tell me and you want to be stubborn and say, oh, I want to do the leg. I don't believe in that. I believe in saving a life.
So just to confirm, Frankie Paul never received any money?
When Frankie's sister, Tisha, just told me, I think yesterday before I come back to Jamaica, because I reached back to Jamaica yesterday. After I leave out, after I do that video, I was supposed to go and catch a plane. But I do the video because we was getting ready to leave to the airport. When I do the first video, when them start spread the rumor, I said Frankie died. I would say no, him don't pass off. Him stay away, but him don't pass off. That time she never get that money yet. So it's after that Tisha telling me when she called me say, Orlando, call her now. When you must give the plea and send £1,000. £1,000 come give her to the hospital bill. That's before him died. Before him died. Because he's like, I am here special, and I said, no, you can't keep the money, man. Just send it to the family, man. You understand? Because remember, I'm a person like this. I can't see people that suffer. You don't go and give help and molest your brother.
But what was the issue with him sending the money? Why did he not want to send the money?
He wants to do the leg. He says the leg, not busy about like you don't busy about the else is the leg. But if a man do healthy or a man gone, what he going to do with the leg?
But there was a video from Frankie Paul saying that he had received the money, apologising to Orlando. What was that about?
Still, Orlando make his son Sean, Orlando call him, because Frankie tell me, them call him and say, listen, we're doing the leg for you. And it's mouth talk. So Sean do the video. And Sean send the video. So Orlando keep it. You see, it's like a cat and mouse thing. So you make him your call, like me to call you and say, when loan some no man, do your leg already, man. So all you need to do is go up there. So me I come and say, because I don't know the process of the leg. So me I come and say, I'm sorry to brother, but everything is okay. My leg is look about and everything good. But Frankie never know, because I read about it and I watch documentary or the leg. Sometimes you have to go back in. You can't just take a measurement. What I'm telling Orlando, of a person's stomach one time and then make a leg, because you don't know if they lose weight, you don't know if they gain weight. Then sometimes the doctor have to go back and operate and round up the stump. You have to do a plaster mold. None of that never done. You understand? So you have a lot of things to do to make a leg. So you couldn't just put a tape and measurement and then tell him say him leg weight in. And then you have to do a rehabilitation, learn back how to walk on that leg. You understand? It have to fit right, because they have a lot of things. If you look it up, it show you how them do leg. You understand? So when Orlando say, when I talk, and I hear him say, but Frankie do the measurement from the 18th of January. So what's the follow-up? And then you say, you find a place, and there's a big place from in New Jersey, but the big place from New Jersey send out someone to drive, because Frankie Paul and drive. Normally, you would have to go there yourself, because if those places are building place, you would have to carry the patient there, and then give more than one appointment, and you come and them set you up, and then them measure your back and do what they're doing. So if you tell me them just measure the stump one time, something going wrong there.
Wayne, Reggae Britannia would love to know, and the UK would love to know, what is Jamaica, not just the people of Jamaica, but the government of Jamaica, going to do to honour Frankie Paul and the legacy that he's left?
A small island like Jamaica produced so much veteran, so much icon for this country, who carry the map of Jamaica right across the world. But yet still them don't, when you die, they hear them come and say, oh, we lose a great icon and something else and something else. Now we need to do something better than this.
Well, there you have it. In any event, we'd like to send out our condolences to the Frankie Paul family and fans all over the world. If you love watching videos such as this, make sure you come back and check us out next week. In the meantime, have yourself a great week, and we leave you with Frankie Dancehall Paul performing live.
Worries in the night, worries tonight, worries in the night, worries in the night, worries the night, worries in the night, worries. Somebody bring fire down, and I'll tell you that so now that your sound will be right, so give your sound be alright. Worries in the night, worries tonight, worries in the night, worries in the night, worries the night. Worries in the dance, everybody say yeah ho, ooh yeah ho, say yeah, say ow. Have you ever